friends, and welcome back to playing tribute to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2, Resolve, where I always say that the same way every time. Where Susato's back. She must be the great departed soul that's returning or something. We are off to investigate again. I have a feeling this might be another long one, but we shall see. We are investigating now that we can look at the crime scene as well as the machine, since it was, in fact, proven to be a hoax, basically. It's not real, and the engineer is suspect. But Susato's back. Oh, this room, it's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though. And it's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so familiar. I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you left it. But it has been some 6 months, it's true. So, is your father alright, Susie? What happened? My father? Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why he went back to Japan. Because of the telegram he received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason. I thought they found out that was fake. That's right, so I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised, but happy. I thought she told us that it was fake. I think I wrote about it in my letter to you, that it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that. Well, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. The International Forensic... That's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh! You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yes, of course, I shall. And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About you-know-who. About Kazuma. I know. I'll tell you all that I can. Wow, look at all of this. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely. The awful trial? Oh, yes. For the murder of Giselle Brett. Ooh! You dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Runo? Yes, I suppose so. I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a false mustache, maybe. I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Mr. Susato. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter that it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings. That's right. The very large dog collar we found with the B emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about this time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. What would that be, then? Father came back to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it is, then I intend to find the answers for myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Oh, then you're gonna spill everything. You're gonna talk about the whole Hound of Baskerville story? Oh, Susie! It's a very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris there. Yep. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium, too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge Jigoku, there we go, and Judge Jigoku have been invited. It's something of an honor, I believe. Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country. After all, I am off to a wonderful start with being able to read, guys. 5 minutes in, geez. But who's the other person you mentioned? The judge, did you say? Yes, His Excellency, Judge Seishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruto. Last year, in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. That terrible trial of yours where you were accused of murder? Ah, yes, I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days. Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy never to see that man's face again in my life. Oh, well, anyway, as father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. I mean, he rolled you not guilty, so he shouldn't be that against seeing his face. It's not like his face would have any terrible memories of like, oh, he sentenced me to prison. I don't know. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end, he agreed to me going on ahead. Yes, about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put an awful lot of work into making it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General. The most senior position in the British justice system. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said, anyway. Apparently, it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition. Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally, then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen too much. How trying for you. Giselle Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live. The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget. Sorry? Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist. Didn't exist? But how can that be? It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin. And she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front. A front? Who on earth was she then? Miss A. Jin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery. But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anyway. What could the woman have been up to? I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand. And now she's been killed. All the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered. I'm afraid so. Aishin. Who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? I was gonna say it, but I figured they'd talk through it. I'll just let that hang. After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange. You know the truth, I know you had a hand in what went on. The visiting student's fate. Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on the steamship, and that he'll never... Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama. And what did you learn? After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been laden at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff there. Should have been. Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared. What? Kazuma's body vanished? Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except Kazuma-sama isn't there. Did Professor Mikotoba know about this? Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak. I just don't believe it. What is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Buryo were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Could it be? Could it be that he's actually still alive? Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly. You're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us. But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing. I suppose that's true, yes. The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it, because if it turned out not to be true, then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me. Oh, Miss Susato. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about after all. So I probably shouldn't push it now. Is there anything else we can talk about? Or not? Maybe I can talk to Iris? Yes, there she is. It must be about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's old notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it The Hound of the Baskervilles. But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it, and put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it. So nobody knows anything about it, apart from Hurley and I. But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. Oh! I'm only sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. Alright. Let's find out what the secret is and what this is all about. It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, the Hound of the Baskervilles. What? My Baskerville story? Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time. But Father came in and... Susato, what are you doing? Oh, Father. Did you look at those papers? No, I simply read the label, that's all. Well, put it out of your mind. Sorry? Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else about this. Do you understand? But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan? I have no idea. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. Unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. I put the emphasis on weird. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions, and there was no sign of the big box in his office. That's really all I know about it. I've no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still. I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie. Not much of a mystery solved, though. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well. Look at her eyes. Her eyes are so intense in this. So you're fully abreast of the situation already, Miss Susato. I'd expect nothing less, to be honest. I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Trevor. The engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect the extraordinary trick. Yes, conjurer of sorts by the sound of it, well known in the fields of science and magic. Then we need to go and arrest him. Well, yes. He must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find the man. Sounds like it's a case for tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police. Or a great detective. Are we supposed to guess who she might be thinking of? We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away, I think. Good idea. Well, best of luck then. You're not coming today? I'm going to Brixton Roads shortly for the herb market. Oh no, wait, the British actually say herb. For the herb market. But let me know later how you got on, won't you? That was a little abrupt. The pull of the herb market must be strong. Well, if we're supposed to see... Wait, what? What's the new location? If we're supposed to use a great detective, I believe that our great detective friend can be found here. Oh my! No wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery. Being scared makes you crave sweets? I can understand that. I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere. That's strange. He should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. He's not hiding as one of the waxworks. Okay, not over there. Yep, he's not standing in his usual spots. Well then, I guess we'll come back later. To the scene of the crime. Uh-huh. I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point. Has it? I shut my brain down so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Didn't he say the same thing last time? Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruto. There you are. I think that's, Gina. Maybe. I don't know. It could be Gregson. There you are. I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long. Yeah, it's Gregson. Gina's distracted. Oh, Inspector Gregson. I see you're hard at work as usual. Oh, I'm great to see you. I do hope you've been keeping well since last we met. What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh. Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you've probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right, well, that's the young trainee's doing. Oi! Get over here, Gina. She seems to be busy playing with a puppy. Probably giving it a traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being transferred. It's time for me to say toodaloo to London. Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along. Haha, not likely. Bet you're welcome to try it. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is. To France? I've been working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France? It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, Sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose in where it's not wanted. Something's got him miffed. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go. What? You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what'll become of her. I suppose he's worried she'd slip back into slipping her hands in people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruto. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, is it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina. So don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I gotta keep the Diamond Diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. All what is over? Oi! Did you just call me a bloomin' Diamond Diva again? So you heard that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable Detective Diva here. Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. I suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you've got a new dog, have you? Is that like Gumshoe's missile? Isn't he great? Toby is the name. Oh boy, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's the not-so-lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Huh. Tobias Gregson. I think she named the dog after him. Gina. We were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Or, for once. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you want. Oh, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. Yes, Toby. The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume? I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh? It's like I told Otto yesterday, even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one! That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something? The Forensic Investigation Team. Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one! Yeah. But isn't the case that the special dispensation has been lifted? I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something? I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps. That's the one, yeah. Apparently, he's always watching the time for something. So without Lord Strongheart's express permission, we can't investigate on the stage. Okay, so we'll have to go back to him at some point. As long as he doesn't make us wait for 4 hours again. It was great! It was great, weren't it? I had a right laugh. It's a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying about I'm about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, and Otto's made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. But watching someone else gotten in for the neck was a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed a dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. As the boss I feel sorry for. Sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest Adler Cove, ain't he? In time for tomorrow and all? You know, the dodgy engineer, what's his name again? Mr. Drebber. Enoch Drebber. That's the one, yeah. So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. And it's putting too much on the boss if you ask me. He says it's giving him a gut ache. Oh dear, but I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they had any luck. He's really funny looking. Got 2 eyes what don't match, so a glimpse of the picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry, who? You know, Scowlin' Reaper, who's always glugging down glasses with a blood-red plunk. Oh, Lord Van Seeks. He's always added in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mind. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. Should rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee. The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod, you're equally badly off with both. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Glad we put that one to bed. Anyway, the point is, everyone in the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck. There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all. Where'd you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Otto. Slight overreaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's... how'd I put it? Oh yeah. A bona fide detective. A bona fide detective. Sorry. I've given him a proper little title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you. More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? The police recruit dogs now? I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. they're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. Huh. That's nothing compared to this little fellow, Otto. Oh, really? According to what the boss said? Once Dobie Ears got a whiff of your drawers, he could trace the scent to the other side of the world. What? To the other side of the world? You mean he can swim? Mr. Naruto, I think you may have missed the point by a rather wide margin. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling you, Otto, there's gonna be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree. Right. One of these days, the barking orders at us lot, not the other way round. This guy's already barking. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about it, Dobie Ears is Britain's first police dog. I found him down the East End the other day. Someone just chucked him out on the street. There you go. I knew she lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals. Should we talk about the things that were found around here? She's stealing from me again. Okay. We can't go up on the stage. I think we need to go talk to Strongheart. Who is that? Well, at least he's not going to make us wait for 4 hours. Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart? I wonder. I've never seen her before. Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh. You mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's great exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Scrabbling or scrambling? Lord Van Zeek's in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. Special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. If that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with the scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, is it? Until later then, Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Scythe, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She's just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Esmond. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Right. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So he's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore. Let's make it fast then. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now, unofficially, of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago? At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work in the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? Far too long, these scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires. I intend to see to it personally. I think I'm messing up his voice again. I think I had more, powerful before. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known, to protect our honor and our future. With those eyes, he means every word. Dr. Scythe is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the Forensic Division of Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba. Oh, yes, my lord. Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan. Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month. Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well. My memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. It was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago, in fact. Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge. The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals, St. Sinner's, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Scythe was also there then, as it happens. And then Dr. Scythe knows my father, does she? She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? Especially with a newborn daughter at home. Oh, that explains that. I lived with my grandmother in those years. So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh. Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away. What do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going on at the time. I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zieks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say that it was the very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zieks, was murdered. It was just after young Baroque had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor. When all these criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Baroque Van Zieks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind. Oh my word! So, the legend is that Baroque is not the Reaper, but the ghost of his brother is? So Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, it's the ghost of his brother. Thanks for... Oh, I should just let the game say what I want to say, because clearly it has the same thoughts that I do. Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible. Are you well versed in science, then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. Well, special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Seth's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. And I'll be able to see it too. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls. We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord. I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium, you understand. Goodbye, then. We also have the forensic laboratory, which they told us to go to. Let's go here first, though. I want to try to keep things in order here. Whoops, that's... I need to investigate. Let's see if we can go off the stage. Oi, this off limits up there! Try to sneak past me again and I'll stuff your gob full of the boss's fish and chips. Yes, please, I love fish and chips. I suppose we need special permission. I have special permission. Oh. Clearly I had to talk to her, not sneak past her. Sorry. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. That's alright, isn't it? We're going through this conversation again. Sorry, you can't go up there. Yes, that's it. Yes, that's it. And yes, that's it. Actually, we've just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. Eh? You what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Tragic. Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly. Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all this above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. It really would be tragic. Alright then, there's the stairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. Now I can examine the stairs and go up there. Let's go and see what we can find out. Oh my, so this is the machine. That was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place. Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrain went in order to obtain the research grant. No. The professor was strict as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It is amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. You're right about that. You'd never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. Oh, look, is that... Lord Van Zeeks? Oh, sorry, that was Susato. Lord Van Zeeks? How'd he get up there? So I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Miss Susato? Already? He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think. But we have permission to be here. From the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything. From the top? You mean Lord Strongheart? Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at the wreckage for as long as we like. She could have been the center of the explosion here, and instead wouldn't have bent her steel will. Whoa! Examine everything around Baroque for now. What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have been buckled and twisted in the blast. And what they call the birdcage was right in the middle of it all, just here. But look, Mr. Naruhodo, the metal grill on the floor. Looks as though it's designed to open. It does, doesn't it? Wow! I'm just speaking word for word what Runescape is saying. If the floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred, the birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight. I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? Oh, that was Susato, I'm sorry. Is that all? This wasn't here yesterday. Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air. That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Harebrained said in court, it's made of wood. Or more precisely, a Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been in an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. What a wonderful, durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naruhodo? I understood that forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. And I suppose they must have brought it back here when they'd finished their work. But sadly, not with the body inside it. No, that's right. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still. This is too important a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial. What am I, grabbing it and bringing it with me? What does he mean he's touching it? One cage that was used for Professor Harebrained's experiment, the cage crashed down the crystal tower. Alright, let's take a look at that before talking to Van Zeeks, shall we? Look here, Mrs. Sato. Oh, yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. I suppose because it fell from such a height. Yes, from the height at which the balloon was flying, down into the crystal tower below. Fall about 30 feet, or 9 meters, leaving the man inside tragically dead. I mean, we already knew that. Oh, causing damage to his face, okay. We can also see... It's weird, it has the same pattern as that door that opens up. Okay, is that it? Oh, wait. Oh, yep. No, that's, that seems to be all she wrote. Cool. That was pointless. Alright, Mr. Van Zeeks. Least approachable man in the world, winner. 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistants stand firm behind you. Lord Van Zeeks? What? Well, beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? His eyes are staring very intensely into my soul right now. I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently you Nipponese are unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Well, the thing is, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me. Never mind. State your business, then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zeeks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this. Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. We won't know unless you try. Oh, we're just gonna jump right into it, huh? Cool. Cool. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zieks. Please, I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So you've been investigating me, have you? Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright, it's a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was pride of the Van Zieks family. Tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. The professor. Is something funny? That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it then. Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? You're too kind. Are you going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? I've beaten you so many times, dude. So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident? As it happens, Lord Van Zieks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork, by any chance? Yeah, naturally. I believe that since last month I feature in one of the displays there, for public scorn. Of course, the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom. A particular waxwork. Wait, you mean? Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. It's turned as white as a sheet. I guess that's all with that, then. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen. Oh, we're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Which, according to Professor Harebrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So I was just wondering, I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but we'd very much appreciate any more clues you can give us. Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. Fine, why not? Oh, I have a photograph of the man from an investigation 10 years ago. Though it appears he already had that black monocle at the time. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? 'Cause you hate me? What is it about Lord Van Zieks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Well then. Yeah. I was wondering if he was around. Ah, the file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you all right? Who is this man, Mr. Naruto? Lord Van Zieks' apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too. Lord Van Zieks. May we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him. Why? Kazuma-sama! Kazuma. I don't believe it. Your posture, your presence. It can only be. It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somewhere. Somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma? Wait! Too late. What's going on here? What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. He has amnesia? Tomorrow, he will appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant, on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court with us. Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Yes, thank you. I definitely saw a reaction there. When Susato-san called to him like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Kazuma-sama. You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruto? Yes, yesterday, in fact, at Lord Van Zeek's office. I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us. I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. Among other things, you're going to have to leave now. The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Mr. Sato. Of course. So we had fun up there. Is Sholmes here yet? Alright, in that case, I guess we'll just go to the forensic laboratory. I almost said library. Forensic library. Well, this place is creepy. I believe this is it. Dr. Scythe's laboratory. The chemical smell really assaults the nose. And there's plenty to assault the eyes in here, too. It looks as though the doctor isn't here. But we're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Susato. You could just have a little look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. Cool. Oh, I can't look at anything on the table? Really? Okay. No. Okay. There's a desk over here. Maybe there's something important. Look at this big, thick book here. It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh. What is it? It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but, well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. 500? They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses. I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. And scalpel blades can be sharpened, too. It does seem a bit strange, you're right. 500 scalpels a month? What could they possibly be using all them for? As needles to throw at people. What are you doing? Ah! I guess that's all we get to look at. Sorry, we, had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so... So you thought you'd snoop around. That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Well, what do you want? Lord Strongheart told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Isman's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings. On Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. Dude, what's so important about the scalpels that it wanted me to know that before I saw her come in? What's going on with those scalpels? So you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene. The victim, Mr. Odious Man, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Isman who appeared moments later partway up the Crystal Tower, were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see. If two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true, but sadly in this instance, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Ah, fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British justice system, but one day they will be used in this investigative aid as a matter of course. Did you ever notice that everybody's buttons all look the same? They all have those, like, diamond shape. Is that just a style thing? Like, what? I don't know. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. So where does that leave us? My team was tasked with investigating and drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. No one approached the Crystal Tower after the fact. Why? Plague mask. Mama, what is this? Where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? This is the lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello. To meet you. Pleased to meet you. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. Ryusuke Naruto. Mama. Yes. Can I cut this one up? What? I've never seen inside an Eastern person before. I want to know what it looks like. Of course you can't. He's a live specimen, as you can very well see. That's terrifying. Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience. Oh dear, Mr. Naruto. You're as pale as a corpse. Then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. So, what are you doing at the moment, Doctor? Keeping a close eye on things so no impertinent Easterners think they can look around my office. There's such impertinent Easterners around? How terrible. Yes, you. She doesn't mince her words, Miss Susato. I think perhaps it's time we left. Alright, he's gotta be there now. Oh my gosh. We're just gonna go down the line of places to go. Oh my gosh, dude, what are you doing? What's he doing? He's... Oh my, the whole of the wall cell is covered in mathematical equations. The whole wall of the cell. That's what I meant to say. And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. Oh, ha! Mr. Naruto. And who is this young lady? My name is Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruto's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner! None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in court this morning. Oh, no. The whole thing, the whole miserable affair. It all happened because I've been such a complete and utter clot. Professor Hairbrain, what have you been working on in your cell? Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see, and I simply had to write it down. The wall was all I had at hand. Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass the super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? Ah, no, actually. This is my autobiography. Your autobiography? How I Was Diddled and Fiddled by Albert Hairbrain. I found I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers and an vicious set of simultaneous equations. Really? I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So it's going to be a new serial publication for the next month. Part 1, an odd birth and odd upbringing. You can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case? Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled, I was fiddled, by the pair of them. By Esmond, and that aloof engineer Drebber. We're not going to have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Esmond, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even. I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it... If you've still done something wrong, logically, it makes no difference if you are aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. Oh, Professor. He believed in me this morning, you know. Baroque did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. No, Barack wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now. Why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers, even. I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing blow there. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Brooke, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis complete and utter nonsense. And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud for yourself, Professor. Exactly, which would have been fate worse than death for me. But Brooke insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul. But that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with this kind-hearted soul idea? Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry to say that does seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused. He was so emphatic. But in reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually. But the scale of it wasn't just some small trick. It was a very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work to try to earn just a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all of that only to be taken for a complete fool. It's too rotten to believe. It is, I agree. And that's why you have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. We have to find them. Mr. Isman is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer. Mr. Enoch Drebber. Is he an engineer or a magician or swindler? It was about a year ago when Mr. Isman first brought Drebber to meet me at my laboratory. Since then, I met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine, but at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist. Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation. I see. But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues that you can give us as to his whereabouts? I'm sorry. We only ever discussed the kinesis machine, nothing else. Although, just once, I did visit his workshop. What workshop? Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory, where he constructed my great machine. Why didn't you mention this before? Enoch Drebber's workshop. There's every chance we might find the man there. So you've been to Drebber's place of work, then? Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place, plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. Not that we have the investigative authority to arrest the man. Are we going to take Gregson with us? What's happening? There's a good chance that we'll find Drebber there. Well, yes, definitely. I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry. I was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then. The place was incredible. The pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best. A special French machine of oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Ha! That indescribable scent of the imported oil. The imported oil. Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Miss Susato? You do machine for your next birthday? I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't have a business card from Mr. Trevor, for example. The man was clearly very cautious, Miss Susato. I'm sure he would never— Aha! Yes, I do. He gave me his business card once. It's right here. Look. What? Let me see that. Throw etiquette to the wind, why don't you? Enoch Trevor, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address. No. Oh well. Can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful. Plus and minus. And French oil? It's dark smudge here. I think perhaps it's machine oil. Ah yes, possibly. Professor Harebrain mentioned something about the oil Mr. Trevor uses, didn't he? Said it was specially imported, very high quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Maybe we can follow that. Yes, that's right, but more importantly, it's more fragrant than the finest perfume. So excuse me a moment. Oh, the dog! The dog! Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all. Don't worry, I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount on here. The dog. Thank you, Professor. We've got places to go and people to see and dogs to sniff. I mean, the dog is going to do the sniffing. We're not going to sniff the dog. About this, Gina. Yeah, I'm still learning the letters in the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't much bleeding trouble. Actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important. Eh? How come? There's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. It turns out that this is very high-quality French machine oil. It has very particular scent, apparently. You don't say! Let's have a whiff, then. You sure? I don't smell nothing. No, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh, right. You mean Toby. His sense of smell is so good, he can track people over the oceans, can't he? Professor Harebrain informs us this oil is unique to Mr. Trevor's workshop. I think he's picked up a scent. So you mean, if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to Dodgy Cove's workshop? That's right. That's exactly what we're hoping. Alright then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. Wait, when did you... Once a pickpocket. If I can lead everyone to that Trevor's workshop, I'll be the boss's boss before next week. Oh yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted. Poor Gregson. Right then, Otto. Leave it to me. Sorry. We're gonna get going after that dodgy engineer cove right this minute. Make sure you bring back up... Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. It ain't gonna be me what gets in the neck. It'll be the boss. Poor Gregson. Again. Ready, Toby? Got that oil sent out of you? Come on then, boy. See you later. You really should be bringing backup. Who knows what that guy's capable of? I do hope the scent of the oil leads them into that swindler's workshop. Yes, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Trevor. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. You're right. We ought to find him at Madame Testbell's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit. Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture. Alright. That's the cue. Finally, at long last. We have a lot... He has a lot to answer for. Here we are again at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't got used to this place yet. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery, of course. Susato-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she? Eek! What's the matter? Look, Mr. Naruto. Look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. Oh, look who's back. Looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail. Aha. What is it? Oh, sorry. I think you'll find that's the temporary waxwork himself. It's a friend of mine, a dedicated employee. Yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke Naruto. I must say, I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork that is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow, Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yes. His habitual duties. Alors, do not disturb her. I need to talk to him. Poor Susato-san, she looks very perplexed. I'm afraid I'm going to have to disturb. We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But where is he? I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually. Oh, what did you... Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I. The world-famous grit detective and waxwork Herlock Sholmes. Susato-san! Susato-san! Did she just faint? She fainted away. Herlock! You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, that's right. Hang your head in shame. My most humble apologies. I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment, via London. My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not of questionable street food quality. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes? Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now. Largely solved? We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume? Indeed, we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it wasn't easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today, for that matter. Poor Charles. The stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So, how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, do you remember that I said it was largely solved? Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprits. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? Oh yes, it's the most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet. This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was resumed. That's amazing. Just between you and I, it would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in an event. Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no? Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary? A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Taspels at all costs. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all. Poor Iris. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork? At least with the great detective. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh. Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet, which is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be able to be in a better position to help. Yes, Trevor's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it. Alright, we'll show him the picture, but I think we're all questioning this. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about? Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship, your words were very clear. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body. Indeed. And wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Osogi. You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. I mean, how would we know? There was no ribbon blowing in the wind. On its own accord. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere in the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless. I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I could believe that the crewmen present at the time made it a mistake. But not you, Mr. Sholmes. He plays the fool, but I think he's definitely smarter than he gives off. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives a wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court you'll find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. So it has all but completely confirmed that the masked man, the masked apprentice, is Kazuma. Again, I'll just let that hang. We're just gonna let that hang for a while. Here, have a photograph of Drebber. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber, the face of the engineer we seek. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course, so looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive. Something catch your eye there. Are you all right, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting, miss. Very interesting, indeed. What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden. I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me? Well, what is it? As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. Yes, the professor exhibit, is it? Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings. That's a special one-time only price, you understand. What? The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor? Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone. The price is very reasonable, 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain the seriousness or silliness. I can never tell with you. That's the point. Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings. Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Or do they say leisure? Peruse it at your leisure. Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit. This is a scary place. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. Through those heavy curtains at last. 5 shillings we've had to pay. Doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it? No. Ah, we could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? Not to mention the demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands, or chip-loving inspectors. Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think. Oh, jeez. He doesn't have a head. Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as you walked in here. Miss Susato. I say we turn on our heels and go straight home. Via a really big confectionery. We certainly can't do that. We've paid 5 shillings already. True. Actually, now I'm looking a little more closely. We've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. The nerve of great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place. That must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said that the case was largely solved. Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? Where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we? Yes, we will get what we paid for. Is that fear or frustration that's making Susato-san's voice tremble? Well, when I came in here, the first thing I noticed is this guy here. Well, no. The first thing I noticed was this guy coming up out of a grave. But I was looking at him and I thought that he had like a monocle. He has long hair. It's dark hair though. I don't know. It looked like the engineer guy. This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real. It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. And he has a large shovel in his hand too. Look. Perhaps we should investigate a little more detail. He's got a camera. What's this here? Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera. A camera? But it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints? I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera? I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think. By looking at the photograph plate inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken. It's a photographic plate. It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look. You should see yourself, Susato-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? Alright, we'll look at it soon enough. This is a button that doesn't look like the other diamonds. Making me even think even more that this guy is... I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just... Oh, do you think you should be manhandling these exhibits, Mr. Naruto? I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry. Ah! What on earth? How can... I don't believe it. A black monocle. Mr. Naruto, is it possible that this man is... Yes. It's Enoch Drebber. The color of his hair is different, but it's unmistakably him. Indeed it is. Mr. Sholmes! This man is the subject of your present hunt, I presume. I believe. Yes, that's you're right. Just who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? And why does the convict behind him have no head? The head was missing, and the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. So then the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head. Toot the sweet, as Madame would say. Or I'll be in grave trouble. No pun intended. A very hungry iris still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations. Ah! Do you know, though, something about this room is strange. Strange? What do you mean? Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not? Indeed they are, Mr. Sato. Do go on. And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely couldn't ever really have happened, could it? I think it's time I educated you a little. About the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago. Yes, please. I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. Oh gosh, an enormous hound. How awful. After taking the life of his fifth victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand. Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. Closed court. So you mean the professor's identity? As you surmised, my dear fellow. His identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which joins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. Oh! The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Came back to life. He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene, as described by the sole witness to those chilling events. There was a witness. But of course, my dear fellow, it was none other than the young man in the white overcoat. Enoch Trevor. He saw it happen. So this is a waxwork model of Enoch Trevor. 10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been gibbeted and buried, emerged from the grave in the dead of night. The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old. It's so horrifying. Scared out of his wits, the young driver ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. Yes, as shown in the photograph we have of him, his hair is completely white. For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page of the Capitol. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. Hold on a second. Looking at pages. Okay. As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here at Madame Tussbell's. I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. But what I don't understand is what Mr. Trevor was doing in the first place, in a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night. Yes, what was he up to? The professor's acts of terror threw London upper classes into complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal, one might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abounded. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder. Yes, I can imagine the impact the case must have had. But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did the talk of the shop witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale. But why did people stop believing it? Why? Simply because there is no resurrection to speak of, as was established in fact. What do you mean by no resurrection? The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution. No. But that would mean Mr. Trevor must have lied to police and the newspapers. That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently vanished from society and nothing has been heard from him since. It's rather striking, then, that he should resurface again, don't you think? Of course, the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. Oh, I don't know why I'm saying this in Jones's voice. Of course, the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. That's not possible. But Trevor's hair is unusually white, and if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, it's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. doesn't matter if they're here in Britain or Japan. Graveyards are scary. Now I come to think of it, this is the first time I've seen a British grave. According to what I've read, the custom in Britain is to bury the dead as they are, without cremation. What? But if you do that, you might accidentally bury people while they're still alive. I'm not sure that would be worse than accidentally incinerating people while they're still alive. I think we can both agree that it's best not to be still alive when our time comes, then. And what am I to say to that? This must be the killer, the fiend known as the Professor. Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tussbelt said, he killed 5 victims, all noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place. I know, it looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head, that is. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Zooming in on the same place I clicked on before. So this is the condemned man. The so-called professor. And then perhaps his head was chopped off by a guillotine. But unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost. Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mr. Sato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see? Then perhaps Mr. Shum's absent-mindedly forgot to attach it? That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned to the museum? And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief, isn't it? Or, no, I didn't say it, isn't it again? If there had been some reason why only the head wasn't returned, whatever the reason, it means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. Is there? Looks like a piece of broken glass. And quite a big piece, too. Ooh. It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say. Yeah, I believe that I've noticed that before, actually. Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder? I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength. But why? Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as a big building, for example. You don't say. Well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass is broken, too. You don't mean... Exactly. The Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition. Oh, they're gonna just write out and say it. All right. But why would glass from the Crystal Tower be lodged inside the waxwork's jacket? Makes you think, doesn't it? Earlier in court, we established that the kinesis experiment was a trick. Forgot how to use the court record for a second there. This piece of glass is almost as thick as it is wide. I've never seen anything like it. If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Schultz has such thick skin. There's really no need for such a comparison, Mr. Naruto, as you well know. Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely. Yes, I think so too. It was probably made especially to meet the demands of the great structure. And now we discover this fragment of glass here, this waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? I think not! What the bleeding Nora Auto? What have you gone and done? Gina, what are you doing here? I asked Iris, and she said this is where you'd be. So... Gina! Not so loud in the museum. Madame Tussbelt will have you take position as a waxwork if you're not careful. I think there might be a more pressing concern. I still have some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... All right, Gina, we understand. But please, put down the gun. Sorry, I got scared. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So what brings you here, Gina? What brings me here? What do you think? We found it. We found the Dodgy Cove's workshop. What? You found Drebber's workshop? Yep. Toby's nose took me straight there. The boss and the others are heading over there now in a drag, so come on. Here's the address. Got the boss to write it out. Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once. All right, then. See you there. Well, see you later, Sholmes. Oh. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here, being still. What? His eyes are hidden, so... I know my place. In the exhibit over there. Oh dear, someone is feeling sorry for himself. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming. Your words hearten me, I must say, but if I were to shirk my duties here, Madam would have me pay monetary recompense, and Iris's dinner plate would be empty. Forget that. I'll pay for everything. Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail a carriage at once. No offer to share the cost from Mr. Sholmes, then? I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruto. Thank you, Mrs. Susato. All right, let's go. He's a very dramatic guy. That looks like... Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Indeed, it would appear so. They're only a prototype, naturally. Huh, so he got here then. Gina, well done for finding this place. In such little time. You've really worked miracles. It's Toby here, was a miracle worker. Thought you'd all show up before long. Why are your eyes closed? What's going on? You look kind of goofy. Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. Looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer? Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here. Oh, what a shame. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? I wouldn't want to say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if you're hoping to snoop around in here, I'd get cracking. Our advanced geeks and the forensic investigation team are on their way here as we speak. Them again. Imagine you got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types. Right. So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. You, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model. Alright then, let's see what we can find in here. Really? Nothing on the trophy? Ah! This appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. I've no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor. Ah. Would you like a massage? No, no, no. I'm fine. Thank you. The idea was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this mystery in October than conjuring tricks. Couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? It's curious, though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times. There's a little metal plaque here. Look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. Seems rather ironic, doesn't it? But clearly Mr. Drebber was a very talented scientist. Oh, that was her speaking, sorry. I guess that's all we're gonna get from that. Alright. Crossbow? Oh no, airplane. What on earth is this? An aeroplane, Mr. Naruhodo. One day scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies. Is that how the trick will be described, is it? Sorry? Well, it's actually suspended by a thin, but very strong cable, isn't it? Oh, well, this model is, yes, but the real airplane would actually fly high in the sky. Well, suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course. Because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in midair unsupported. So to you, the solution is even taller towers? Ever taller towers? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it. From the Crown and the government. Doesn't seem to be stopping them. Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear. No loose change dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bone for Toby's ear. My dear fellow. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Miss Susato. What does this door lead to? This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. No specialist locksmith on his way over from the yard. So hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector. I could have that lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission. And no one's given it to you. Look at that, like, half smile he's giving. He likes to... I think he likes to see Shelms down in the dumps. Yeah, see? Gregson looks as though he really enjoyed that. Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side. No, Trevor must have fled at first sight of danger. Crossbow bolts? That looks like a quiver. This is... It's a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside. Oh, do you suppose... Crossbow bolts, these. Just the right size for the bow you lot turned out in the exhibition grounds. In other words... Yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Trevor was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. Oh, so much for no one being beyond that door. Oh! Something wrong, Miss Susato? Oh, I thought I heard a noise. From the far side of that door. Well, Gina? Did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it and all. What do you reckon, Toby? Right, mind the grease. Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. Oh my. Someone is in there. I think they just got out another door. Ah, this rotten bleeding lock. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago, If only it were countenanced, I could unlock the door in less than a minute. Fine. I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through the blasted door. There! You may enter at will. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Nothing for it, I suppose. It's an emergency. Probable cause and all that. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes. Or as he says it, yes! Is that a bomb? What? What's happening here? Why is everything upside down? Rats! There ain't no one in here after all. No, I definitely heard him go through another door. Or something. Sounded like a heavy door. But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises. Perhaps that was the sound of Drebber running away. But there's only one door into this room. Look for the hidden door. And no windows that could afford an escape route. The skylights are too high. Why are there footprints on the ceiling? What's that up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling? Blow me, what have we here then? Someone's trying to burn something in a hurry. Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints. To what? To that Professor Hairbrain's Barman machine, is it? Blimey! If we had these, there'd be no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal. There's something of great interest here, too. This rope is lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. A rope? What's significant about that? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruto. We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive, too. This seems like somewhat familiar to me. For some reason, I remember this weird upside down room. There's no denying it, is there? They're footprints. Yes, it would appear so. I simply can't imagine how they came to be there. Isn't there a Susato shoot-up or something? Like a Susato takedown, I mean? No Wonder Woman, Mr. Naruto. That would make her almost superhuman, I suppose. It's a really lovely model. It looks just like a real flying balloon. I think it's probably staying aloft in the same principle of a full-size balloon using gas. A green flying balloon. It does have the hallmarks of that amazing deception at the Great Exhibition, doesn't it? Could it be that the whole thing was planned here in this very workshop? It's a very large safe. I don't suppose even Mr. Sholmes could open that lock. Although if you were a thief, you could just steal the entire thing, I suppose. It's bolted to the floor to prevent exactly that sort of underhand trick, Mr. Naruto. Well then, you could just steal the floor as well, I suppose. I'm sorry, but you really aren't making any sense at all. Anyway, I think we can agree that whatever is inside must be very important. Okay, I'm concerned about this. Mr. Sholmes, have you found something? Ah, Mr. Naruto. Yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. Never seen anything like it before. It looks like a bundle of thick cigars wrapped in a large... Ah! Oh, that was Susato. Ah! Miss Susato, what's the matter? That's a... Let me make sure I get everything that's wrapped up in a large watch toy. That's what I was saying. Surely that's a time bomb. isn't it? What? Did you say? Time bomb? Sorry, but what's a time bomb exactly? Eh. You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruto. I won't take that as a compliment. Ha! You don't know nothing, do ya, Otto? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? Oh, you haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruto. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance. Oh, well, thank goodness. But then what is it? I see, so that's it. Goodness, Mr. Sholmes. Have you seen to the heart of the matter? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. Are we doing a dance of deduction? For I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. We are doing the dance of deduction. The music is telling me that we will. But I've learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Mr. Sato. Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming. Yep. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself. Oh, but how could you? And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is without question completely genuine. Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything. It would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. He's all scrunched up again. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyway. Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done. Too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mr. Susato. Oh, yes. I'd be delighted. So, shall we begin? Oh boy, I guess it's gonna be another long one, guys. I guess these investigations are longer. Interesting that they don't get divided into part 1 and part 2 anymore. Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Twice in one case. You spoil us. Well, we needed somebody to react with an exclamation point and a question mark. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had, until recently, been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down to the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that this is a rotating room? Indeed. The key here is gravity. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from this great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normalcy. Normality. Goodness! The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about that part gravity played in this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Susato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to the one that featured in a dream of mine the other day, in fact. But then why does it have a clock on it? A most relevant question indeed. That timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment the restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts here was reversed by Mr. Drebber. before being restored to normality in the automatic fashion sometime later by the timer device. I have witnessed precisely this scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. He is still a fool, though. Like, honestly, his deductions are never correct. Is it because he wants to encourage me to join him in this deduction? Like he waits for... Because he keeps saying, like, he waits for me to say something. Now, let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? She moved again, so I thought she was talking. Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yes. Oh. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answers will lead us to neatly to the truth, my dear man. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there's but one way into this room, excepting the skylight, that is. Ah. By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind him. But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape from the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? You know, I mean, give it to the writers that they can write out this deduction process to have two different answers, depending on, like, what is happening. Like, it's still, like, because this sentence is still being used later. That's with how this works. By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling, which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. She's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. Ah, yes, the just one thing. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. Seems to be the case. Whenever I'm around you, yeah. The thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean. I would say that with man's current scientific knowledge in the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. But your whole deduction hinges on it. Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Yes, I have a feeling I read it in something that Mr. Susato lent me once.
Objection!
Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Huh, the spell's broken at last. The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it? Indeed it was, in lonely coils near the wall. But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall? Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find, do ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we faced in this room, now skillfully unraveled. That argument is as circular as the coils of rope. I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the detective's great deduction will lead us to the truth. Yes, you're right. And we must do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. I think gravity could have been reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive such an explanation. But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so... Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once. Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Miss Susato. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he? While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices. Yes, I suppose so. Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. Uh-oh. Here's an upright vase here. Well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure. Oh, look at that! I know. The slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say? To be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me. The fact that it's upright.
Take that!
The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you've surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes. Trust me. As you rightly say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down. This unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss. Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes. But the show must go on. So, let's continue with our deductions. Now that we know this contrivance is not in fact an anti-gravity device, there remains one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that? Quite, and naturally there's an explanation. The reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he? I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all this furniture over. So whoever it was must have had a reason. I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though. Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. It's a coal-burning heater, I think, isn't it? Yes, it is, but not just for heating, you know. You can grill on it, bake in it, boil and steam things with it. It serves all sorts of purposes. It seems like having your cake and eating it too. Not unlike a heated Katotsi table with a Nabe hot pot, a Mikan orange, a cat, and an elderly relative. Oh, you mean it seems too much? I suppose perhaps it does. But you realize only some of those things on your list are edible, don't you? Wait a second. Look, there's something written on the underside of this armchair. Oh yes, safe. 432582. Safe, as in safe and secure? As in secure lockable box, I think. Admittedly, more likely. Oh, there's a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes. So you mean this number would let us open it? I wonder why it's written here, though. You gotta write it somewhere.
Take that!
Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you have had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yes, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book just in case. That's it! For people who have forgetful souls at heart, and always make a written note of important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think. And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruhodo? When the day of the draw came round, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it! For people who are forgetful souls at heart, and always forget where they've noted things down. Not if you always note things in the same place. I actually won the second prize, you know. But I couldn't remember which magazine I'd slipped a ticket into, so I had to turn my room upside... Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe I've proved my point now. His wild eyes are going. Which is that very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed a combination code. He remembered that he'd written in the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one. Leading to the state in which we now find the room. That's a lot of effort it took. Yes, Mr. Drebber overturned all the furniture in here in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe. I mean, that's a lot of work, overturning all of that furniture. Bet that is a safe place to put a safe code, I guess. I mean, who's gonna find that? Now, let's consider our next conundrum. We gotta explain the footprints. Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did those footprints get there? Yes, I feel as though this particular mystery has just become even harder to solve. I can't think of any other way to explain it all. Oh, life was so much simpler in those halcyon days when gravity could be reversed. It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place. Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail. Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into these situations in the first place. Well, there's the balloon. Oh goodness. Oh, goodness me. What in the world? Why is there a shoe on top of a balloon? It's hard to believe, but there's a shoe up here. Look. Oh, yes. And there are more footprints on this little balloon, too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged, do you think? If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Why would anyone be throwing shoes up at the ceiling, though? Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid. The reason there are footprints at the ceiling is because the nearby shoe.
Take that!
That's the concept. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon. But for what purpose? Green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data. Aha! It was a piece of Green Balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruto and Iris found at the scene. Inside the Green Balloon, that Master Gods claims he saw above the stage when the incident occurred, was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception. You mean to say, if we assume the balloon in here is a model of the one used that day, there is a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach. Hence why he resorted to projectile, namely the shoe. Ah! Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with the shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner in its lofty heights. Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope! To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? Mr. Shulmans has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope. Alright, I have to admit, that was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and pull it down on the ground. Which is much easier said than done, I feel. It could take us a very long time as well. True. Perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we? Are we gonna shoot it? Oops.
Take that!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow? That was found at the scene, in fact. And in all likelihood, belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe in such a critical time as this. Alright, what's in the balloon? So, shall we? We haven't even ended the deduction. Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon? What indeed? Aha! What the? A waxwork? Indeed it is! Waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So we can't see the face inside, that means. Just a moment. This is the head of the waxwork model. Does that mean... Oh, goodness. I see you've joined the dots, Miss Susato. Excellent. Of course, a headless waxwork model. The case of the abducted Madame Tuspel's model that you'd largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Tuspel's will now have to settle their sizable account with me. This, as you have now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor. Yes. But why is it here? This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspel's and returning it, as on set, earlier today, was none other than Enoch Drebber. This is incredible. Professor Harebrain's case and the waxwork abduction, they're inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. Is there nothing to see here? Really? This lock does look very strong, doesn't it? There's definitely no way you could remove the mask yourself if it was put on you. What a terrible way to treat someone, even a convicted criminal. I know, it's starting to make me livid, actually. Mr. Naruto, please. I mean, just think about it. Imagine if you had an itch on your cheek all of a sudden. You'd be utterly helpless. Well, yes, that's true. But I'm not sure if that warrants quite so much anger. Oh, right. Sorry. I think that's all we're gonna get from this. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure. The architect? You mean Mr. Trevor? Seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights. Obviously, the man must still be here. What? Oh, sorry, that was Susato. What? And his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction. Enoch Trevor is right here, somewhere in this room. So, Mr. Naruto, will you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Trevor's hiding place must be. So I heard a door close. And it sounded like a heavy metal trapdoor. It's no trapdoor. Look at that mess in front of the safe. Plans and accounting ledgers. Almost as if someone was in a hurry to empty the contents of the safe, in fact. Oh, that's what used to be in the safe. Ah, very nice, okay. Also, I feel like there's no oxygen in there. I feel like we should probably get him out before he ends up dying. Getting himself killed. Before we gained access to this back room, we heard noises from in here. Which tells us the engineer was still in the building at that point in time. He was in fact searching for the combination to his safe. And pressed for time, he made an attempt to right the furniture that he overturned in the process. He made no attempt to right the furniture in the process. From which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Trevor is at this very moment inside the safe. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Elementary. So, Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide-and-seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see. The combination was 1432582. I knew that. Alright then, here goes. I wonder if there's any significance of those numbers. You found me. What are you, mechanical? Dude, I do not have any recollection of this man. Alright then, sir. Mr. Enoch Trevor, I presume? Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built. And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Tespel's as well. Yes, I would be delighted to answer your many questions. Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate your parcel? I refer, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in a most prominent position. I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me then? No! Mr. Sholmes, with only 7 seconds to spare. That was too close for comfort. I've got one foot in the grave already. Are you trying to help us get a killer or get us killed? Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they? Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say. I think we all knew it was a bomb. Anti-gravity devices don't exist. Whew, I wouldn't put shit, Mr. Sholmes. What on earth happened in here? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, I'll be giving it a thorough going over, don't you worry, Trevor. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt. Whistling? Ah, that would have been me. Oh. For some reason, I woke in a fine fettle today. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Clearly, I must have screws, though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd returned to. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe. Having first set this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. Death wish, have you? Hiding right beside ticking time bomb. Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe, it's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. So in fact, the safe was the only safe place. Precisely. But once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again. I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within. So it is. I'd always intended to blow this place to smithers in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you were planning to blow us all up? No. That was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Ah. I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance, and set a device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse of your first banner in the works. Something wrong, Gregson. Do I have something on my face, besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth? You're about to have a black eye. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. But what about the 2 incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Hairbrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition. And the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong I'm unable to open it safely and reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection. After all, that's enough. Oh. Hello. What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here. Yes, well... Dr. Scythe again. So the forensic investigation team are here. And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer to access him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished. You lot leave at once. My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Scythe? Hello, Sholmes. So you know her too, huh? Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe. If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell. Get out. But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. So you haven't softened at all. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today. But Mr. Sholmes, let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. I said get out. Now, all of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson. Understood. I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place. The whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There's a time bomb set in here. And this lot disarmed. Inspector. Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Trevor? So sorry. Didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? Yes, you did disarm that one. What are you... That one? You mean... It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Oh, dang. So is Susato the great departed soul that has returned? Or is it Kazuma?